Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. It's the Lyon County Board of County Commissioners, Thursday, February 1st, 2024. This morning, our agenda will be taken. Action will be taken on all items unless otherwise noted. No action will be taken on any item until it's properly agendized. To avoid meeting disruptions, please place cell phones and beepers in the silent mode or turn them off during the meeting. The board reserves the right to take items in a different order to accomplish business in the most efficient manner. Items may be combined for consideration. Items may be pulled or removed from the agenda at any time. Restrictions on comments by the general public. Any such restrictions must be reasonable and may restrict the time, place, and manner of the comments, but may not restrict comments based upon viewpoint. The Board of County Commissioners is convening as other boards. Members of the Board of County Commissioners also serves as the Liquor Board, the Central Lyon Vector Control District Board, Mason Valley Mosquito Abatement District Board, Walker River Weed Control District Board, Willow Creek General Improvement District Board, the Silver Springs General Improvement District Board. And during this meeting may convene as any of those boards as indicated on this or a separately posted agenda. And this meeting may break between 11:30 and 1:30 for lunch. Roll call today. We have all commissioners in chambers. The invocation will be given by Irene Albritton of the First Christian Church. Will all rise, please.
Good morning and greetings from South Carolina. Today's invocation is offered as a prayer of thanksgiving. For the beauty of the day and for the opportunities it offers, we give you thanks, O God. For the freedom to assemble without fear and do orderly business together, we give you thanks, O God. For the democracy that made the election of these county officials and the work of this commission possible, we give you thanks, O God. For the wisdom, professional expertise, and commitment to service represented by each person here, we give you thanks, O God. For this agenda and the work it allows to serve you and the people of Lyon County, we give you thanks, O God. And may God's blessings be on each of you and on this time together. Amen.
Commissioner Hendricks, would you read the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public participation. No action will be taken on any item until it's properly agendized. It's anticipated that public participation will be held at this time, but may be returned to at any time during the agenda. Citizens wishing to speak during public participation are asked to share their name for the record and will be limited to 3 minutes. The board will conduct public comment after discussion of each agenda action item, but before the board takes any action. Do we have any public comment? I see a Tom Dunn online and Wendy Colborn. So Tom Dunn, you're unmuted at this time. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Are we having technical problems by any chance? Yeah, unmute yourself if you haven't done that already.
Good afternoon. Good morning. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
All right. Good morning, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Tom Dunn. I'm a district vice president for the Professional Firefighters of Nevada. I'm here to comment today on the appointment to the North Lyon Fire Protection District Board. For a little bit of a background, I've lived my entire life in Nevada. I've been a Washoe County resident since 1968.
Sir, that's on the agenda. Save your comments until we're at that point in the agenda. This
All
is
right, thank you.
comment- This is comments on anything that is not on the agenda.
Okay, my apologies. I missed that first part.
That's fine. Did we have anybody else that has public comment on anything that is not on the agenda? And Tom, if you'll put your hand down, we'll wait until we get to that point on the agenda. Anybody else that has a comment?
Mr. Frischman.
So is Jeffrey Frischman, are you going to make a comment about something other than what's on our agenda today?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment on something other than what's on the agenda. It touches on something that is on the agenda, but it's different.
How could that be? If it's on the, excuse me,
It's not specific to the agenda. No, so it's not on the agenda, sir.
okay. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning. For the record, my name is Jeffrey Frischman. Over the past few weeks, I've sent correspondence to each of you regarding issues with the Heritage Ranch subdivision project. As a property owner adjacent to this project, we have been experiencing issues with construction debris, tumbleweeds, and dust coming from the Heritage Ranch construction site. I understand that it has been a bad year for tumbleweeds. However, the tumbleweed issue did not just start this year. It has been a problem since work began on the Heritage Ranch site. The problem lies in the fact that the developer has not taken reasonable steps to mitigate adverse impacts on the surrounding properties, things like construction fencing. Additionally, little to no, and I mean zero, steps have been taken to mitigate the dust which blows sand across our neighborhood. 4 years ago, when this commission granted approval for this project to move forward, citizens expressed concerns about the dust. The developer argued that they would take steps to control the dust. They have failed to follow through on this commitment. This is not only true with the Heritage Ranch project, it is also true with the Traditions project on the other side of our neighborhood. On a windy day, dust from the Traditions project is so bad that it obstructs the view of the warehouses to the east of the site. We ask that you hold these developers accountable for their failure to comply with the rules and regulations. My neighbors and I beg for your assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 5 for possible action. Review and adoption of the agenda. Do I have any commissioner input on the agenda? Any public input on the agenda? If not, then I'll look for a motion on the agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda as written.
I have a second.
Second.
That was for Commissioner Keller or Commissioner Jacobson. Okay. So I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Commissioner Hendricks and a second by Commissioner Jacobson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 6, presentation of awards and our recognition of accomplishments. We have any awards or recognitions this morning? Seeing none, we'll move on from that step. Commissioners, comments and county manager. I haven't seen the county manager this morning. Must have caught-
He won't be in today.
Okay. So I will go ahead with Commissioner Hendricks. Do you have any report or comments?
I attended a meeting with NDOT and attended the Lyon County School Board meeting. The NACO Public Lands and Natural Resources Board got to do a ride along with the Sheriff's Department during their saturation patrol in Dayton. And attended the webinar for the Artemisia project that's going through the variance process, and attended a meeting in Mound House put on by Healthy Communities Coalition regarding the Mound House highway issue with the little girl that was hit.
Commissioner Henderson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I attended the NACO Board of Directors meeting. Like most meetings, the first of the year, a lot of it was housekeeping matters. The new officers took their positions, and Douglas County Commissioner Mark Gardner was elected as vice president to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Commissioner Cassie Hall. The president, Stacy Giolmi, appointed Commissioner Ken Tipton from Humboldt County to chair the Public Lands and Natural Resources Committee. And Commissioner Delmo Andriazzi from Elko County is going to chair the legislative committee for this year. I also participated in the saturation patrol. And Sheriff, I wanted to give a shout out to your men and women. You know, their professional and the collegiality that I witnessed among them is part of none. So give them my thanks, please. I also attended the Campo meeting this year, and Campo had already identified 10 intersections within the Campo area that needs attention. 8 of those are in Carson City, 1's in Douglas County, and 1 was in Lyon County. And the one that is in Lyon County is the one at by Red Rock, and I forget the name, Highlands, where on January 22nd, a 9-year-old girl was tragically killed when she was trying to cross the street. This is at least the third pedestrian fatality that I've been able to research at that one location. Unless ironically, Campo had already had that intersection identified. They did a site visit 2 days after the accident, so it was fresh in everybody's mind. So that Campo is aware of the situation there. I also attended the meeting with the Healthy Community Coalitions helped set up. Office of Traffic Safety was there. So we have attention on this very dangerous situation in Mountain House. So hopefully we can get something, some mitigation done here in the near future. I do have the address of a GoFundMe page and also another address for cash contributions if anyone is interested in donating to the family of little Miss Ella. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Callow.
I attended a NDOT meeting, NACO directors meeting and the NACO Public Lands and Natural Resources Committee, and don't have anything to report back.
Commissioner Jacobson.
Thank you, Chairman Hockaday. As a member of the Friendly Boys and Girls Club board, we had a productive meeting. Go figure, the main thing we talked about was fundraising. Had a great tour of MSC in Fernley. And what an incredible facility that is. Trying to get out into some of that industrial stuff from time to time, just to admire the growth. And then I had down in my notes here, I was in Dayton on Friday night. That had to be the night of the saturation. Was it Stagecoach as well? Because as my wife and I were driving into town, I felt like we were in a Christmas parade. There were people pulled over left and right, especially on that Highway 50 corridor. So it's funny that the commissioners had already brought that up and attended it. So I first started off saying, God, look at all these people running interference for us. And then it turned into we better slow down. We're next. So good job to the sheriff's department. Those saturations are something else. Thank you.
Thought you had a police escort down Highway 50. Someone called ahead for you. None of my meetings were meeting the second half of January, which left me a lot of free time to take care of a lot of other agenda items I had on my schedule. So we'll move on to elected official reports, unless Mr. Foley, you have anything for the county manager? Okay, so we'll move on to item 8, elected official reports. We have any besides Sheriff Pope? Come on up.
Lyon County Sheriff Brad Pope for the record, and I prefer the podium over there. It's a little unsettling, but yeah, saturation patrol went well. We appreciate to the commissioners riding with us in their district and being able to see us work firsthand. Also, Taylor Allison, emergency manager, rode with us, and she's reported to have had a good time too. So went well. And that saturation control, we had 86 traffic stops. We arrested subjects for various crimes, from DUI to drugs to warrants to just illegal driving. So I think 7 or 8 went to jail. Commissioner Henderson was able to see our coroner in action when she was called off the saturation control to handle a coroner call. So when I report on the full-time coroner duties, it's good the commissioners got to see that and how much time that saves the patrol deputies. So otherwise, a patrol deputy would have had to respond and be tied up for several hours. Short report, a little bit of that saturation patrol coming all the way from Mount House Stagecoach. At one point during the saturation patrol, which we got a picture, we went up on Dayton Hill and Highway 50 was lit up all the way down. It was kind of neat to see. Our response times are in since February 1st. All of our response times, except for one priority call out of Silver Springs, are still down. Still in very acceptable range. Most down from what we averaged last year. So guys are doing a really good job answering calls quickly and professionally. So other than that, we're just moving on with the sheriff's office. So nothing else to report.
Comments, questions? Anything? Well, thank you for your efforts out there. I actually called Commissioner Henderson when he was out on that patrol on some other county business. But I did want to also thank you for your speeding up of the processing of concealed carry. I'm getting calls from my students that are saying that they're very pleased with the fact that they're getting things done in, a month to 2 months versus 4 months. So I do appreciate your efforts in that area. So thank you very much.
No, would also add that since we're starting 24, we begin to track response times to Smith Valley too. So we'll actually have data for you on our response times to Smith Valley.
Okay.
And just to let you know, there was 0 priority 1 calls at Smith Valley. So
Yeah,
that's
as
the
usual.
place.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Shadu. When you were up on Dayton Hill, did you take a picture?
I wish I did.
I wish you did too, because I'd like to see it, because there were red and blue lights all over Highway 50 right now.
It was all the way into town. It was crazy.
Pretty neat to see.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I don't think we have any other elected official reports. Appointed official reports. I don't see anybody at the back table jumping up. And that's moving along quickly. Advisory board reports. Nobody jumping up on that. I don't see anybody online. All right. We'll move to item 11, consent agenda. Action will be taken on all items. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and may be acted upon by the Board of County Commissioners with one action and without an extensive hearing. Any member of the board or any citizen may request that an item be taken from the consent agenda, discussed and acted upon separately during this meeting. So first of all, we have items 11A through 11F. Commissioners, do we have anything that we want to pull from 11A through 11F? Any public input on item 11? If not, then I'll look for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented, items 11A through 11F.
I'll second that.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Henderson, and second by Commissioner Jacobson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Move on to regular agenda. And all action will be taken on items unless otherwise noted. Item 12, public hearing on planning items. For possible action, approve a commercial subdivision tentative map request from Stan Lucas to merge 5 existing land parcels or existing parcels on the north side of Highway 50 east and west of Traditions Parkway to establish an approximately 125.13 acre commercial subdivision, creating the boundaries of the Traditions Commercial Center to allow for future commercial, retail, office, light industry, and multifamily residential development, including the site for new Lyon County offices in Dayton. Would be APN 016-401-93 and -97, 016-406-03 and -11, 029-782-16, PLZ 2023-079. And staff report. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Lisa Nash, Senior Planner. So as was introduced, this is for the Traditions Commercial Tentative Subdivision Map located. Let me start over. The applicant here is requesting a commercial tentative subdivision map to merge the 5 existing parcels to create approximately 125.13 acre commercial subdivision. This is going to create the boundaries for the Traditions Commercial Center. And it's going to allow for commercial, retail, office, light industrial, multifamily residential, and currently just completed a BLA that includes the site for the new Lyon County government. So the property is located to north of Highway 50, east and west of Traditions Parkway, as you can see on the map that's outlined in red. And those are the 5 APNs that are involved. The BLA will provide a new APN for the parcel that's been that is going to be the government complex.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at your APN numbers and I'm looking at, I went through the map that kind of looks like that.
Okay.
And I found the APN for 40620, which is the bigger side, that bigger one. And I think that is representative of 03. I couldn't find 03.
I believe that is 03 now, and so
So it's not in our packet that, well, I couldn't find it that way. So that's what I was wondering. So it is 03 in the county records?
it is 03.
4603.
Right, okay, so the boundary line, that's part of the problem. The boundary line adjustment recorded on the 19th, so the APNs have changed, but it is 03, and then the smaller part that is is 21.
Okay, I'm just making sure that if the motion comes later, these are the correct numbers, the correct APNs.
Well, I will clarify for sure, but as of when I wrote the report and I updated it for this meeting, those were still the correct numbers.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Really bless me. Let's see. All right. So in this plan, you can see it's kind of small, but this is the proposed parcel map with the preliminary uses that are proposed. And just a brief overview, the green portions are parks that are going to come in. The commercial areas are in the light orange. In the northeast portion, you're going to see the light industrial, and in the northwest is where the multifamily residential is proposed. There, down in the bottom right is the pink square that is a future casino possibly, and the dark rust color in the middle is where the future county complex is. Okay, all right. So the project's proposed to be developed in 10 phases, and the initial phase is in yellow in the lower center portion of the site. And that portion's currently might include a convenience store and fuel, commercial, retail, office, or flex space. And then as you can see, it kind of curves around the site as they develop the different phases. And this is the current proposed phase layout. So here is our zoning and master plan designations. The map on the left is the Dayton land use map. The site has commercial mixed use, suburban residential master plan designations. The map on the right shows the zoning district map, and the site has community commercial, neighborhood residential, and split zone parcels that contain multifamily residential, community commercial, commercial mixed use, suburban, and neighborhood residential zoning districts. So in chapter 15.607.03 of the code, the findings that must be considered were reviewed for a tentative subdivision map application. Next page. So I just pulled out some of the highlights that I felt were important to consider that we looked at. And the various uses are consistent with the master plans contemplated for the area. And they do fit within a suburban character district, which covers this parcels. The applicant is responsible for meeting all the conditions in the commercial TSM, and they will need to submit the final maps or records of survey before they can pull any site improvement or building permit. And the conditions we believe will serve to mitigate potential impacts on the neighboring residential properties to the northeast in particular. Additionally, the traffic impact study indicates that at the end of the total 10-phase build out, they'll generate approximately 7,300 new daily trips, which come out to about 600, give or take peak, AM and PM hour trips. NDOT has jurisdiction over the access and improvements impacting US 50, and part of that does include the future signalization at the US 50 Traditions Parkway intersection. So with that, I want to give a brief update of what has occurred since we went to Planning Commission. The Planning Commission did approve it unanimously to forward a recommendation of approval to this board. And kind of repeating back to you what you did, but on January 18th, the board approved the purchase agreement and escrow instructions between Lyon County and Stan Lucas for the government complex project that includes that 7.4 acres that was in the north central part of the site. Additionally, it was mentioned then that in the agreement that you had, the boundary line adjustment needed to be completed within approximately the next 30 days. And that was completed and recorded on January 19th, 2024. So the project has moved forward to there. And that is my presentation. I am here for questions. The applicant is also here if you have any questions.
Questions? No? No questions? Pretty easy on that one. So item 12A, no questions from comments from the commissioners. Any input from the public? Seeing nobody standing or on Zoom, then I'll look for a motion on 12A.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move that we approve a commercial subdivision tentative map request from Stan Lucas to merge 5 existing parcels on the north side of Highway 50, east and west of Traditions Parkway, to establish an approximately 125
Oh,
point.
hold on. Okay. Yes.
The applicant just confirmed you were correct, and it should be 20, not 03. But so I would say we should, no.
For-
So we can't do it.
0.
I'm sorry,
Can't do that.
Susan Hansky with Project One for the record. So 20 actually replaces 2 APNs in the list. So I can read you the appropriate APNs for
Madam Chair.
motion if that would
Hold
be
on,
appropriate.
hold on. Commissioner Henderson.
I just have a question for the DA. If the APN numbers on the agenda are not correct, can we proceed?
Steve Rye, District Attorney. The cautious approach would be to re-agendize it with the correct APN numbers. So
I
don't know if the-
I agree. I don't want any.
That's
No, I
just a
agree.
mix up on the timing with that map recording. So I think it would be better to re-agendize it.
Commissioner, oh, go ahead. You had any?
I just want to need a motion for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, Commissioner Keller comment.
Yeah, I-
Do that.
Just wanted to say I'm sorry for bringing that up. I didn't mean to throw a hitch in your giddy up, or wasn't intentional to do it that way. I just wanted to make sure it was done correctly. So
Thank you for catching that, and I apologize that it wasn't straight before the advertising went out, and the applicant is very willing to come back in 2 weeks, and if that is okay with the board.
Okay. So we're going to request it to be tabled.
Do we need a motion for that?
District Attorney, right, do you want us to go ahead and make a motion to table?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to continue it to re-agendize with the appropriate APN number.
Okay, go ahead. Commissioner
Mr. Chair, I move that we continue this item to have it re-agendized at a future meeting with the correct APN numbers.
Henderson.
With
Okay,
the agreement of the applicant.
with the agreement of the applicant,
I
which
said
we
that too.
heard, yep.
I'll
And-
second.
All right, so Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Hendricks seconded. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All those opposed? Okay,
And Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank Commissioner Keller for noticing that error,
yeah,
because I didn't catch it.
no. not on the maps presented. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Are you going for item 12B? All right. For possible action on 12B, approve a request for a 2-year extension of time until February 1st, 2026 to submit a final subdivision map or the first in a series of final subdivision maps for the states at Sutro tentative subdivision to create 96 single-family residential lots in approximately 47.99 acres. The tentative subdivision map was approved on February 6, 2020, and amended on October 19th, 2023. APN 016-403-27 and PLZ 2023-084. Staff report.
Hello again, Lisa Nash, Senior Planner. So you can go to the next slide. For the, we're here for a 2-year extension of time, asking to extend until February 1st, 2026 to file the final subdivision map or first in a series of final maps for the estates at Sutro in Dayton, Nevada. Next. So the 2 maps show where the estates at Sutro is located. It is north of it's on the north side of Dayton. It is on the north side of Highway 50 between Fortune Drive and Retail Road, which you can see on the plans there. And it's at the terminus of Crown Point Drive, Discovery Drive, and Sugarloaf Drive. The Heritage Ranch development is directly south of it and is under construction currently. Next slide. The Estates at Sutro tentative subdivision map is for 96 lots, single family residential subdivision. It was initially approved in February of 2020, and then they were before you again in October. That was for changing the, they were having a connection to a future road that was going through, and you guys allowed the approval of one of the condition changes. And then they're currently in for site improvement permits for phase 1, and phase 1 is the darker bolded on the west side, or phase 1, yes, is bolded, and phase 2 is on the west. So they are in progress of getting the permits. None have been pulled so far, and construction hasn't yet proceeded on this site. So they are requesting, go to the next slide, that they are allowed to extend this to address the design challenges they're going through and continue to focus on the Traditions project nearby. So with that, I am here for questions, and the applicant is here if there are questions as well.
Questions? Any questions? Any comments? We have Jeffrey Frischman's hand up for public input.
Again, for the record, my name is Jeffrey Frischman. On behalf of my neighbors and myself, I urge you to deny the request for an extension. It is time that developers are sent a strong message from our elected officials that if they are going to be bad actors and going to fail to comply with basic mitigation measures, there are consequences. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? Okay. I'm looking. Yes.
Chairman
go
Hockaday,
ahead.
just a quick question. So on this project, it just, they haven't turned up any soil, correct?
Correct. Lisa Nash, Senior Planner, that they have not, I've driven by the site, nothing has been moved yet. No permits have been granted on this site, and no dirt has been moved. And the
Okay.
applicant is here and can.
No, I don't need, I obviously trust you, so I guess I don't understand how this site could be creating a mess, so. Thank you.
Okay. Any motion? A motion?
Based on findings A through C, I move that the Lyon County Board of Commissioners approves the request by San Lucas for a 2-year extension of time, February 1st, 2026, to record the final subdivision map or first in a series of final subdivision maps for the estates at Sutro subdivision, APN 016-403-27 PLZ 2023-084.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Hendricks, second by Commissioner Henderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Community development. 13A for possible action, approval to release the existing maintenance bond for the Tradition Village 1, Phase 2 subdivision and replace it with a new maintenance bond from the new owner of those lots created on subdivision map number 676375 in the same amount. Okay, Mr. Carriola.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Louis Carriola, Community Development Director. If you have any questions, I'm available. This is a fairly straightforward item. Just a change in ownership of this phase of Traditions and therefore a replacement from the previously posted bond with a new one. Just a maintenance bond in the amount of 10% of the estimated site improvement costs.
Now, there's a lot of paperwork there.
Sure.
Any questions from commissioners? Any public input? If not, then 13A, we'll look for a motion.
Chairman Hockaday, I'll make a motion to approve the release, the existing maintenance bond for the Traditions 1 Phase 2 subdivision and replace it with the new maintenance bond for the new owner of these lots created on subdivision map number 676375 in the same amount.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Jacobson and a second by Commissioner Keller. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. For possible action on 14A, approve an additional 30,000 towards the purchase of 2 animal services trucks with funding
You're
from a
closer.
budget transfer from the general fund contingency. And Mr. Foley.
Josh Fuller, Lyon County Comptroller, for the record. So in the past for animal services, we've purchased trucks that are 1,500 size with a animal services bed that's a little bit higher. And a number of our animal services officers are fantastic people, but not quite as tall as those boxes that we have. And so what we're recommending to the board is that we go with a heavier truck, which would be a 2,500, so that it can accommodate a lower box, which is what Douglas County and Carson City, I believe, are using currently. The vehicle itself is approximately 55,000. The box is about 30,000, and we have 2 vehicles that we're looking to do at this time. For workers' comp issues and other type of things, it's highly recommended that we move forward with this increase for the vehicles.
Okay. Any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Not really a question, but just a request. When we have requests for contingency, can we have a running total?
Sure. I'll go run and give you a total.
Yeah.
I'll get it for you.
I mean, this is kind of as a matter of record, of course.
Sure.
Anything further from the commissioners? Any public input? If not, I'll look for a motion on 14A for $30,000 increase.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve an additional $30,000 toward the purchase of 2 animal services truck with funding from a budget transfer from the general fund contingency.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Keller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Advisory boards 15A for possible action. Approved to change the meeting day of the Silver City Advisory Board to the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. I believe we've talked about this last time and bringing it up again for a better day, a better night. Any commissioner input? Public input?
I have a question.
Oh, question, Commissioner Keller.
Are they down to a 2-man board now? Okay.
So with that answered, do I have any public? I don't see anybody from the advisory board. So we'll just move on with the motion. Do I have a motion on 15A?
Mr. Chair,
Oh,
go ahead, Mr. Jacobson.
go ahead. It's your,
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the change of the meeting date of the Silver City Advisory Board to the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m.
second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Jacobson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. County Manager. 16A for possible action, approve and authorize the county manager to sign and submit an airport improvement program, AIP, grant application to the Federal Aviation Administration. The application is for $150,000 with a $10,000 county match for the design of the South Partial Parallel Taxiway at the Silver Springs Airport. Mr. Foley.
Josh Foley, Lyon County Comptroller, not the county manager, just for the record. Unfortunately, Andrew can't be here today. This is an item that was already in the airport improvement plan scheduled for this, but in order to submit the grant application to the FAA, they have a rule that one of the questions is, has the board formally adopted this by a board motion to do the grant application? So it's a formality. The board's already authorized us to move forward. If it were any other grant, wouldn't even be here. We would just bring the grant reward back when it came back, but we have to do it at application time is right for this.
Yes, question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, just a question on the county match amount. I thought airports were usually 95.5.
So they are, usually the match is 6.25%.
This is about 7.5.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just curious.
That's it? You have something, Commissioner Collins? Any public input? Seeing none, I'll take a motion on 16A.
I move to approve and authorize the county manager to sign and submit an airport improvement program grant application to the Federal Aviation Administration. The application is for $150,000 with the $10,000 county match for the design of the South Partial Parallel Taxiway at the Silver Springs Airport.
Got a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Keller, second by Commissioner Hendricks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Go forth and do it. All right. 16B for possible action. Appointed Director of North Lyon County Fire Protection District.
Josh Foley, Lyon County Comptroller for the record. So there is a resignation on the board of the North Lyon County Fire Protection District. So they have a vacancy. That vacancy went to the North Lyon County Fire Protection District Board. And there were a number of motions to appoint a replacement member for that. They were all 2-2 votes, which means that they failed. And so in that particular case, under statute, it comes back to the county commissioners to appoint this position. So we have the 8 applicants, we have letters and people representing as well. Just so the board is aware, is for the term of this position, I've checked with the clerk treasurer and the district attorney. And this one's unique compared to some of the other when vacancies come up. It actually, the board today will appoint for the remainder of the term, not until the next election. So this particular seat goes through December 31st of 2026. And so that will be the appointment today is from today through December 31st, 2026. And then when the seat becomes vacant for the next election, then they'll take applications for the election as well. With that being said, my recommendation at this point to the board, if you so choose, is I do have prepared a list of numbers that they can draw 1 through 8, and I can present those to the applicants, and they can present in that order. Is that acceptable to the board, or do we have any other questions first?
I'll go with Commissioner Keller first.
Did you repeat the term to end at what time?
It'll end on December 31st, 2026.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jacobson.
That's a little different than what okay, so just so it's clear, this term, December 31st, 2026 is what this appointment will go towards.
Yes, sir.
And then just one more clarifying question. Since we're appointing this, who's in charge of making sure that it makes it back on the ballot December 31st, 2026? Because we're making this, is it a county commissioner? Or are we held responsible for making sure it's on the ballot at the correct time? Or is that the fire district? Who does that? The clerk?
So my understanding and discussion with our clerk treasurer is the clerk treasurer posts a notice on the website and advertises in the paper whenever a term of any office in the county, other than cities, become due for the next election. They will post that and take applications. If there are fewer applications than there are seats available, then it actually doesn't even go on the ballot. They're automatically filled for the fire district. If there are more applications than there are seats, it will go onto the ballot for voting according to the clerk treasurer's office. And I did verify that this morning.
All right, and then thank you for that, Mr. Foley. And then I would just like to say we received an email, I believe, yesterday. And we have some late backup here today. And this is from Kendall Cameron Lash. I just want to have a brief discussion with the board. Obviously, I'm always for people presenting here. So all the people that have put in and want to get up and speak, I will listen with full attention. I also understand that, for example, Kendall Cameron Lash, I don't know if others are here or online. But I've chatted with well over a dozen people regarding this. And I just want to make sure that I don't think our board should neglect or discount somebody that could not make our meeting here today. We were taxed with this decision. I wish the fire board could have come at a decision that was choosing somebody that would be putting the fire district, citizens of the district, and the entire department first, and not politics or this side over that side. So I will be making a decision today that I think is for the best of the fire district as a whole. And I appreciate all the people that have gotten a hold of me, people I've called and chatted with, and I look forward to hearing from those, but I will not be penalizing those that could not make it here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further, commissioners?
So Commissioner Huckabee, Mr. Chair, would you like to take a 5-minute break and then I can have
Yes.
them draw during that time period and then we can come back?
We will. We'll go till 9:55 and then we'll have everything taken care of. Those online can, you can draw for them. All right. If we have anybody online, I didn't see anybody. All right. We'll take about a 6-minute break to 9:55. Adjourned for 6. Okay, 9:55, we're gonna reconvene. Please take your seats.
Is your sound on?
9:55, take your seats for reconvening.
Mr. Chair, Josh Foley, Lyon County Council, for the record, would you please ask if there's anyone online that is one of the applicants? We didn't see any from the names, but there are some that are just numbers. So we drew from the people who were here, but as far as the online.
Okay.
We'd like to just verify, see if any of the applicants are online.
Did everybody hear that? If there is any applicant online for this position, please let us know so that we can draw a number for you.
Want to check the second screen?
I don't see any hands up.
And we can revisit after the three and chambers present too, just to make sure we give the opportunity if anyone does join.
Okay,
So we have three in chambers. It was a random draw. I had nothing to do with anything other than putting them in the basket. And they did it in order on what's on the agenda. So William Botello Jr. would be number one, and then Larry Craiglow is number two, and Deborah Skinner will be number three as far as presenting. And if you'd like to give them 3 minutes each to present, and I'll let you know, I will sit down and let you have fun.
okay, thank you. So we have Mr. Botello, number one applicant.
Good morning, how are you?
Right.
My name is William Botello. Unfortunately, the last two North Lyon County Fire District meetings, I was sick. Flu and then bronchitis, so I was unable to make it, want to be out in public anyway, so I appreciate this opportunity. I'm a retired firefighter in the state of Nevada, 28 years, as well as 43 years volunteering in the state. 40 years and 3 years. I have held a lot of positions in regards from firefighter all the way up to assistant fire chief. I've also sat on the board, Smith Valley Fire Protection District for 4 years in the mid-80s after I had graduated, turned 18. So I was started in that fire department, and then in 2001, I was also on the North Lyon County Fire Protection District for 2 years, 2.5 years, filled a position such as this, and finished out as the chairman of the board. So I've done a little bit, know very much about 473s and 474s, as well as 288 with the Employee Management Relations Board, because there is a union. We've got a unique situation up there. We've got a hell of a combination department. It doesn't work without the volunteers, and that's the main staple, as well as the career personnel. So that's an important aspect that needs to carry through. And I want to make sure, I want to be a part of that and make sure we get back on board, get the politics out of it, if you will, and get right back onto serving the community. And that's what we're there for. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Craiglow.
Well, my name's Larry Craiglow. I'm not going to take anywhere near 3 minutes. There's a lot of people. I went to the meeting where they were supposed to appoint one. Every name that come up, including mine, was 2-2. And that told me there's a lot of, sorry for the word, crap going on in that district. I want you guys to know that my allegiance does not lie with the union, with the management, with the firefighters. My allegiance lies with the people of the district, and it needs to be fixed for them. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we have Deborah Skinner, applicant 3.
Thank you for taking the time to make this decision to help support our community in Burnley and with North Lyon Fire District. So my name is Deborah Skinner. If I'm in trouble, otherwise I go by Debbie. So just a little background about myself. I am a resident of Lyon County most all of my life, with the exception of about the 8 years that we moved our family to Eureka County in Nevada for my husband's job and for our girls to finish off high school. Once they started school, we didn't want to uproot them again. So I have served on the North Lyon Fire District Board from 2008 to 2012 as an elected official. I am familiar with the Robert's Rules of Order, the SOPs, and I, like I said, have been a resident of Lyon County long before the city of Burnley was a city. I am a local business owner. I'm in the tourism industry. And so we do have interaction with a lot of our fire department personnel, rather it be from the fires themselves to the EMTs and paramedics, in the realm of those sources, and we are happy and obliged to them. One of the original reasons that I got involved with the fire department relates back to my business. It was a beautiful, icy, snowy morning, and there were accidents all across the county. And we actually had a vehicle overturn on our little wall off of Highway 50. And the person in the vehicle was trapped. And so when the fire department got there, they had to wait because they did not have sufficient tools on that fire engine and that paramedic van that was there at the ambulance. And so they had to wait to be able to extract the person from the vehicle. I thought then, with being such a small community and being so outreached, that I could make a difference. And so I put my name in the hat for election to join to help with the fire department on the volunteer side, as well as the paid staff, to make sure that all of our apparatus had the equipment that they needed. So that somebody else didn't have to experience that. And it did result in being a loss of a life, which was from unrelated incidents and not just the accident. So I have worked with budgets and personnel conflicts. Once again, I am a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 3. And I have served the community from anywhere from coaching to serving on other advisory boards. And I also currently serve on the Lyon County Room Tax Board. So I would appreciate your guys' support in making a decision that will be a good candidate and applicant to work not only with North Lyon County Fire District with the county, but also for the citizens of Vernon. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we're back to any commissioner questions or comments that they might have. Since we don't have any other presentations, Commissioner Jacobson.
I don't see any others online. Are we going to go to public participation before any?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Nothing from the board, then we will go to public input. We have any public input? Oh, sir. Let's go ahead and state your name and spell it.
For the record, my name is Dan McCaskey. The last name spelled MCCASS, as in Sam IE. I am a board member for North Lyon County Fire Protection District. I have been with the board for 7 years. Never been a firefighter. I was a small business owner in Fernley, born and raised in Lyon County. Also was a city councilman at one time. So we're at a point, a crossroads right now. We have a lot of chaos going on with the board. I've been the chair for the last 4 years, so I'm involved in day-to-day operations. There's a lot of chaos going on. So we have 2 board members that I feel they're pro-union. We have 2 board members that I feel they're pro-district. So with the conflict and having a seat empty, we came forward with, we have some great applicants that applied for the position. I truly, and I stated this at the meeting, that I was looking for somebody that was not politically motivated, black and white, and somebody new. I'm looking for somebody that'll have their eyes open at, well, what about this and what about that? Not how we used to do business. If I can answer any other questions, I will. We have a ton of grievances going on at MRBs. We have a chief issue. That's why I believe the union's trying to gain control of the board. Thank you.
Looks like we have another public comment from Mike Pilcher.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. For the record, Mike Pilcher, I'm a retired battalion chief and the past president of the Northern Nevada Central Labor Council, which represents 10 counties in Northern Nevada, including Lyon. And I attended the last meeting, and I can tell you wholeheartedly that the union is not trying to get control of the board. I've worked with multiple commissions, boards, councils, city managers, county managers, state level agency heads over the years. And I can tell you that what your challenge is workforce development, without a doubt. And we don't just represent public safety. We represent transportation, workers in healthcare, mining, education, hospitality, warehousing and distribution, construction, and on and on. And workers talk more than they ever have before, commissioners. And it's a little device you probably all have right on your table, the cell phone. They talk about the environment and the atmosphere in which they work in. That is even more important to them than affordability. We want our workers to live where they work. That's our motto, to buy local and support small businesses, to build local and support local construction contractors and supply chains, to train local, our own people, to hire local and to prosper local. It's in alignment with what you need too, and that's workforce development. As I look at the population census numbers, the most recent from 2010 to 2024, Lyon County is the fastest growing county in Northern Nevada. So number one, I'm going to ask our communications director to drop, if the chat box is open, our contact info in there so we can assist you like we've done with other jurisdictions, other counties. For comparison, Washoe County's at 18.9%, and you're at 20.85%. Behind only Clark County at 21.8% growth. The challenges you face with respect to workforce development are you're probably keenly aware of them. These workers I want what's best for the health and welfare of the workers, but also what's best for the citizens, what's best for the district. These workers, in my experience, not just in public safety, but in other sectors, they want to feel like they're active participants in both creating and developing the product or the service delivery, that there's a ladder up. Walking on eggshells is a recipe for a disaster long term. You're going to have a worker who underperforms and looks elsewhere for employment. That's not what we want. We want our workers to be able to live where they work. So with all that, I hope you keep an open mind with respect to your appointment to item 16B and your responsibility under NRS 474. And perhaps shy away from someone who already has a vested interest or is a friend or family member who will toe the line, the current line. Instead, look for someone who thinks outside of the box and can bring in possibly new revenue streams.
Thank you, sir. Your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes.
could, I believe that Michael Toombs has joined the Zoom, and you may want to give him, as an applicant, his 3 minutes to speak.
Okay. So, Michael Toombs. Yes, you have.
Yes, good morning.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mike Toombs, for the record, candidate for the North Lyon County Fire Protection District. I apologize for joining in late. Had to dial in and then finally got my Zoom to work. You all have my letter of desire that was submitted from the North Lyon County Fire Protection District. I believe I bring a diverse skill set to this position. I've been a resident for the city of Fernley for 10 years. I've been actively involved, including a stint with the city of Fernley and various other government agencies, ranging from budget analyst, management analyst to a director of a large federal agency. I'll spare you the summary. You have that in front of you, but I threw my name in the hat because I'm extremely frustrated with what is going on in the district. And I think all the other candidates have expressed the same thing this morning, that I don't think any of us joined or threw our name in the hat to be on one side of the table or the other. I have one vote, or we'll have one vote if selected, and that vote will be what is best for the citizens of the city of Fernley and the North Lyon County Fire Protection District as a whole. Because it's frustrating that we can't move forward because of politics that are going on inside the district. And my desire to serve on that board is to basically do what's best for the fellow residents of the city of Fernley, and to at least keep an eye on the future growth and the needs and the requirements of not only the district, but the citizens as well. And I thank you for the opportunity to appear before you this morning. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have any others? I don't see anybody. Tom Dunn. Public comment.
Good morning, members of the commission. For the record, my name is Tom Dunn. I'm one of the district vice presidents for the Professional Firefighters of Nevada, which represents over 3,000 professional firefighters across the state, as well as Fallon Naval Air Station. I've been a lifelong Nevada resident, lived in Washington County my entire life, and I have seen the changes that are coming rapidly to our communities across northern Nevada. All we're asking today is to ensure that a new fire board commissioner is appointed that sees the growth that's happening in Lyon County as a whole and is willing to move the fire district forward in a progressive manner past 2030. With the amount of rail freight that's going to be going to the new inland port, as well as the trick two developments that is on the plan as well. There's a concern for public safety delivery as a whole throughout the entire I-80 and Truckee River Rail Corridor all the way into Churchill County. So we just want to ensure that you guys have take an educated look at all of the candidates and please choose a candidate that will treat the North Lyon firefighters as stakeholders in their community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments? I don't see any other hands on the screen. Oh. Have a public comment. If you do, please step forward so we can get you at the podium and know how many are left.
For the record, my name is Joseph A. Mendoza Jr. Just going to read off the letter that I put together. Local citizen of Fernie for 15 years, small business owner as a contractor within the city. I serve on the Chamber of Commerce board as an honorary director. So I'm extremely involved within many aspects of the city of Fernie's community. For the record, the union is not trying to take over the district board. The union's desire is to stand up for all those that are being sinned against, standing up for what is right, as our motto states, people first. And the truth is that when people are acting unethically and the union stands, it has nothing to do with the union. Who cares who people are for? We don't care if the people are for the district or for the union. We want people to be for the community. I've raised my son there playing sports for over 15 years, but there are some issues that we are deeply concerned about. I'm also the association president for the Fernie Firefighters Association. And we're so concerned, and we want to bring to your attention the critical issues within the fire department, particularly the context of the upcoming appointment, which you guys are going to decide on today. Recent actions by Jason Nickel, who is the fire chief, has placed our fire district in fiscal jeopardy due to the accumulation of debt and frivolous spending. It appears the financial health of our fire department is not a priority for Chief Nickel, and that's extremely troubling. Additionally, recent appointments to the fire board have included two friends of Jason Nickel and multiple board members taking a stance that they work for Jason rather than the citizens of our district. Fire district leadership has attempted to restrict the department members from communicating with board members without the fire chief's presence or approval, subjecting our members to discipline. The policy has limited transparency and hinders the free exchange of information, limiting educated decisions in the interest of our community. 3 candidates for the North Lyon District Board vacancy have long ties to the current board members, which leads to further fears of cronyism amongst the board. Director McCassie has long-term personal connections and friendships with multiple members of the Craigville family. Furthermore, Roy Edgington, who has applied but is not here, has openly stated that he is friends with Jason Nickel and is openly friendly with Director Harry Wheeler, and they're seen at multiple functions within the city. Past behavior on behalf of the fire board has cost our district a substantial sum of money due to unethical conduct. Director McCassie, Director Wheeler, and past Director Callaghy are being investigated.
Sir, your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
If I could really quick, just for the public participation, we need to be careful that if someone hasn't been noticed that their character and competence is going to be discussed at this meeting, that we can't get into character or competence of people either on the board or people that are working for the district. I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. Thank you.
Agree. Go ahead.
Good morning, commissioners. For the record, my name is John Arnold.
I'm here today to present a brief statement regarding today's agenda item to appoint a new director to the North Lyon County Fire Protection District Board. Firstly, I want to give you a brief overview of who exactly I am. I have served as a firefighter paramedic with the district since July of 2012. During that time, I've seen an enormous amount of change in both the city of Fernley and the fire district itself. During my tenure with the fire district, I have been through multiple administrations, 2 interim chief periods, and more board members than I care to remember. The call volume of the district has grown by more than 1,000 calls a year since I was hired. During this time, we've gotten used to doing more with less. Long transport times to hospitals, limited staffing, an ever-increasing population, and an industrial park that brings in bigger, more complex, and higher risk businesses are just par for the course for us. It's not a stretch for me to say that it takes a certain unique individual to work in Fernley. This is precisely why I'm standing before you this morning. Although I do not live in Fernley, many of my colleagues and their families do. In the last 5 years of the current administration, the district has seen a turnover at a rate that surpasses anything I've seen in my career. In fact, as I sit here and speak to you this morning, we have lost a further 4 members to Reno Fire. As I said earlier, it takes a certain unique individual to work in Fernley. That being said, it also takes a certain level of knowledge, skills, and experience to work effectively in Fernley. This district is challenging because we do more with less. Every time we lose someone to a bigger department because of leadership issues, we lose experience that that person had. That is not something that is quickly or easily replaced. I'm extremely proud to be a North Lyon firefighter. I'm extremely proud of the members that we have who serve the citizens of Fernley day in, day out, despite issues that have been mentioned previously. When we have lost paramedics, they've been replaced with lesser qualified EMTs. The current motto of the district is people first. How is it that the district is putting the citizens of Fernley first if they deliberately hire people who aren't trained to provide the highest level of service possible? The citizens of Fernley expect a certain level of service to be provided by their fire department. However, when certain entities within the district don't step in and assure that administration is working to provide that service, how does that serve the public trust? The short answer, commissioners, is that it does not. I urge this board to base its decision on not on who has the biggest or best name recognition within the city of Fernley, but to appoint someone who is going to be independent and refuses to be swayed by other issues that are currently going on within the district. I also urge the board to consider what is best for the citizens of Fernley and the community that they serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commission. For the record, Bradley Bolton, President of Central Lyon County Firefighters Association. You guys, we won't elaborate to the challenges that North Lyon face, but us as from Central Lyon, we see those challenges. We're concerned with them. We feel for the guys, the brothers and sisters that we have there. We've seen most of you in the recent last November with our ballot measures and seeing some of the challenges that we face from Central Lyon and North Lyons has those same challenges. As a fire board, you know, we have a really good relationship with our fire board. Our fire board members know my kids' names. They know when I went to paramedic school. They saw me when I became a captain. I get my 10-year pin on the 8 at our board meeting, and that's something we recognize. They become part of our family. They listen to all parties in that department. They listen to the volunteers. They listen to the association or to the union, and they listen to the fire chief, and they hear the recommendations from the fire chief of how that department should grow. But the fire board really needs to listen to the citizens as well and do what's best for that community. From the outside, it appears that North Lyons Fire Board isn't doing that. And I hope with the decision you guys make, you take the person who's going to listen to all parties to do what's best for that community, because we want to see it thrive. We don't like to see our brothers and sisters to the north kind of hurting, struggling, losing members. You know, we hired on a lot of new members this year, and those are the challenges that we have, is training those individuals so that they can be competent firefighters, have the tools, have the equipment, and the fire board makes those decisions. So a fire board who invests in their peoples at all levels is very important for our citizens that we serve. We don't have a supportive fire board, we can't make those decisions on the ground, or the boots on the ground aren't able to execute the mission that we have. So hopefully you guys have some good recommendations for who you need to choose today. But with that, thank you.
Thank you. And sir, a commercial, yep,
This is Larry Craigwell for the record. My name was brought up by one of the people that spoke just now. Do I get to have a rebuttal on that?
no,
Is that-
sir.
Okay.
No, sir. We
All right.
basically, we don't look at
We're not
any of
going
the
there.
comments such as that. All right, anything from commissioners here? Yes, Commissioner Jacobson,
Well, actually, I'll let other board members speak and then I'll go.
you want to make an appointment? Commissioner Keller,
So in my decision, as I move forward, workforce development is critical. So is labor negotiations, and you can kill your departments by either side of that. The equipment's important. So I'm looking at who's going to be the most, not on either side, standing in the middle is where I'm looking at it. I've got a couple that I think would do well on that on my mind. Roy Edgington wasn't talked about, but I will speak on his behalf a little bit too. As a former mayor of the area, I think he knows about labor negotiations, and he was a firefighter, and his heart is in Burnley. So he's one of the ones that I would consider. And there's another one I'd consider, but actually I'm going to listen to what Commissioner Jacobson has to say too, because he lives and talks to the people in that area. So I want to hear his comments too.
okay. Anybody at this end? Just waiting for Commissioner Jacobson. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Chairman Hockaday. I'm a firm believer, being principal for many years. The Marines had it right. Staff morale and mission accomplished go hand in hand. There's no doubt about that. I understand that North Lyon has lost four firefighters here recently, and that's troubling. And we struggle with that in departments all the time. Maybe not quite that magnitude. It's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there are 2 seats going to be opened up come the November primary or November election. And I will gladly support some of you that were, or at least 2 of you that are not selected today if you decide to run in just a short time in November. So please consider that. I truly appreciate and thank all of you that put in and care enough to step into what is less than a perfect position for sure. It's obvious that there are struggles in a lot of areas with North Lyon Fire right now. And hopefully that the person that we appoint today can help alleviate some of that stress, anxiety, turbulence, whatever you want to call it, between now and election time. And again, I just want to reiterate, I appreciate everyone that has put in. It sounds like probably a pretty thankless job. And I have no doubt that your motives for putting in for this are truly admirable, and for the citizens of Fernley and North Lyon Fire as a district. My support today is going to go towards Mike Coombs. I appreciate his background, experience, and I believe that he will make decisions that are best for the fire district and the citizens of Fernley. And so I will be supporting Mike Toombs with my initial support, and go from there if he does not get elected, but or selected, I should say. But I would support Mike Toombs with my first choice.
So Commissioner Keller, you have a comment?
So I didn't know he was going that direction and he put out a name. So I'm gonna put out a name and I would support whatever we come up with. But I lean toward Larry Craiglow. And I think he's pretty impartial. Or Roy Edgington, I could support too. There's my three.
Anybody at this end? Okay.
I don't live in Fernley.
You what?
I don't live in Fernley, so
Yeah.
so I'm gonna defer.
So we have two people now that are up. I will say that as an appointment, I would appoint Michael Toombs. I have a second on that.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion for appointment of Michael Toombs and a second by
With
Commissioner
with a
Jacobson.
term expiring December 31st, 2026.
with a term expiring December 31st, 2026. So my motion and a second by Commissioner Jacobson. I'll take a vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Is you? Okay, all in opposed, nay?
Yay.
All right, so the appointment passes 3-2 for Michael Toombs. Congratulations. Okay, yeah.
I think Commissioner Keller just said it. Now get it done.
All right.
So,
Let's
and
move-
again, please, those that put in today, openings, I strongly encourage you to put in the November election. Please, I will support you wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. We give you full support. Please get in your names for the next election. And let's get the board back up the way it should be operating. Thank you. So I'm going to move on to item 17, agenda requests. Commissioner Hendricks,
I don't have any at this time.
Commissioner Henderson,
Not at this time. I'm working on a couple, but they're not ready.
Commissioner Keller,
No, not at this time.
Commissioner Jacobson.
Yeah, we've heard from a few people on code enforcement and maybe just to report on how that's going in the Dayton area with dust and weeds and that. I'm obviously not doubting that they're doing their job, but just so the public knows that we're listening to them. I think a report on some of that in the near future. It doesn't have to be at the next meeting, but just on what they're doing as far as dust control and that. And then I will say, I live on 2 acres. I walk around my place regularly collecting tumbleweeds. I know we have some firefighters in the house today, so please don't shoot the messenger, but I walk around, pick them up, shove them in a burn barrel as tight as I can get them on a very calm morning. I burn them and in 4 seconds they're burned up, they're gone, and I don't complain once. So sometimes you just gotta, we live in a desert. You've got tumbleweeds, you got to take care of them. But just a little report would be great.
Okay, so you're requesting a report on code compliance and some of those issues.
And it doesn't have to be at the next meeting. I'm not trying to put anyone's ankles to the fire, just to hear how it's going.
Okay, Commissioner Keller.
And since he's made that request, I'd like also for them to fill in who's responsible for different things. I'd like that as far as the report, like dust control and stuff. Is that NDEP or is it county, or do we even have an ordinance over certain things? So kind of a breakdown of what is covered. Thank you.
Anything further? All right, we'll move on to the final commissioner comments. We'll start with Commissioner Jacobson.
I just wrote down, I want to thank, I received a lot of phone calls from the public on North Lyon Fire. So City of Fernley is very in tune and concerned. I do want to thank the current board. It's a thankless job, and I'm sure that none of the board members, or at least I can speak for myself, when I come to these board meetings, I try not to take anything too personal. I try not to, I listen, and when I mess up, I fess up, and I just hope that they can move forward and put the district and the citizens of Fernley first, and overcome some of the obstacles in front of them. But again, I do want to thank all the people that I chatted with prior to the meeting today. I appreciated all their input, and I just want to encourage those that weren't selected today to put in the November election, so that the people of Fernley can select their new board going forward in November.
Commissioner Keller.
So my comments are that, well, first with North Lyon Fire, they're going to have a lot of challenges coming up, and they just put in for a lands bill for Fernley, and that's going to put it all on your heads, because that's going to become private property. So you got to be in part of the land developments, everything else, to make sure you have the right equipment. So you got a lot of challenges. There's no time to bicker back and forth about personalities. It's time to get down to it, or else you're going to miss that boat. Also, I wanted to point out that we talked about developments again today, and the Highway 50 corridor. And as you can see over the size of these developments and the stuff that's going to come, once development starts, it feeds more development. And so it keeps coming. And if we don't want Highway 50 to look like Pyramid Lake Highway, become a boulevard to where we can't even get through, we're really going to have to spend some time and a lot of attention to any growth that's going on in that corridor to make sure we have a proper access and management on the highway.
Commissioner Jacobson.
One thing too, I neglected on my agenda request, so I guess I'm just throwing this on commissioner comments, but when the code enforcement officer comes anyway, also suggestions that they can bring forward to the board that will help support them get their job done. I would love to hear the suggestions so that, we're not just innocent bystanders listening to their struggles or whatnot. If there's some way that we can help them out so that they can get their job done, I would love to hear that as well in that report. So anything we can do to support code enforcement, I would love to hear.
Okay. Commissioner Keller, any add-on? Commissioner Henderson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't really have much, just want to point out that two things we can always depend on in Nevada is wind and tumbleweeds.
True. And dirt and dust. Is that all the comments? Okay. Final participation by the public. So if we have any anticipated that we have participation at this time, that may be returned to at any time. Citizens wishing to speak during public participation are asked to state their name for the record and will be limited to 3 minutes. And we're going to conduct public comment at this time. Any further public comment? Yes, sir.
Joseph Mendoza Jr. for the record. I just want to say thank you guys for making the appointment today. And if you guys really are interested in seeing the dynamics and the issues that are being held at the fire department, I encourage you to come to our meetings. Those meetings at that board of director meetings will say a lot to you individually, and I won't have to say anything to you. So I appreciate you guys' time this morning, and look forward to getting to know you guys a little bit more better and developing a relationship with you guys, because I think it's going to be extremely important, especially if we have issues come up such as this. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Anything further? Yes, ma'am.
Just want to follow Joe. We appreciate your input and your comments in the direction. And we look forward to serving with my citizens. So thank you.
Thank you.
Linda Carr, lifelong resident, Lyon County, lifelong resident of Fernley. I just want to thank you. I know it was a difficult spot you were put in. I apologize that you had to be put into that spot for situations out of some of our control, but I do appreciate your time and your effort that was put forth to it. And again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your comment. Yes.
Morning, Commerce, Jesse Richardson, for the record. Once again, I just want to personally thank you for making this decision on behalf of the board. Hopefully we can look towards the future and make the right calls and make the right decisions for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment?
I just want to say, commissioners, thank you for making that appointment. We were in a stalemate. Hopefully we can move forward now and look forward to the future of North Lyon County Fire and the district and citizens. But thank you for making, I know that was a tough decision.
Yeah, thank you. I see nothing on Zoom and nobody else jumping up. So do we have a closed session? Outstanding, no closed session,
Yes,
then.
we do.
Oh.
Just
Oh, we do.
should be a short one.
Oh, I thought so I got a yes and a no.
Yeah.
All right. So we will have a closed session, but I will adjourn the normal meeting at 10:37. Take 5.